The content presented in this podcast series, inclusive of text, graphics, images, or other material, is intended for general information purposes only. The information presented is not intended to substitute professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. You are advised to seek medical advice from a trained or qualified medical professional before introducing new items into your diet or healthcare regimen.
Welcome to the Herbal Spot. This is a new approach being offered by the Biocultural Education and Research Program, where we put persons on island who have embraced the use of our local plants, whether it's in lifestyle or in business, and allow them to share their inspiration. Today, we welcome Dawn Thompson, who is the Managing Director of Dawn by Nature. The company has developed this interesting new product called White Wonder. And I know that you'd be very interested in understanding why the name White Wonder. Dawn by Nature is a company that formulates handmade soaps and personal care products, all made here in Barbados using as many natural and local inputs as can be sourced. Welcome to the spot, Dawn.
Hi, hello. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you very much for joining us. I first want to ask you, Dawn, to introduce yourself and your company to our listeners.
Okay, my name is Dawn, and I am a formulator and producer of handmade soaps and personal care items, which include body butters and scrubs and things along that line. We were registered in Barbados in 2018, so 2021 would make us 3 years in existence, and we are having an exciting and wonderful time doing what we love.
That's fantastic, Dawn. I have been supporting you and your products from the time I became aware of you, and I share your interest in making sure that we demonstrate the value of our local plant resource.
This is wonderful.
Yeah. So I'd like you to share with us a bit of the inspiration behind your plant-based approach in your business.
From my training in formulating and producing soaps and other products, my workshop facilitator was extremely knowledgeable on the local plants and their benefits in the soaps and products. And from traversing the island and seeing just green, what we would call bush, along the highways and byways, he was able to inspire me to think more deeply on what these plants are and what they were good for and what we possibly could be missing out on in our local just culture as such. And he would have brought samples of the various plants to class with him, and I would have seen firsthand the gully root and the cerasee, things that I would normally have only heard about growing up, but I was actually able to see. And then he would have shown us how to actually extract the I guess the botanical beneficial parts of it, and showed us how to incorporate them into the formulation and into our soap so that they would have good benefits.
Thank you so much. That is like music to the ears of a chemist. This I love to hear of the knowledge about our botanicals and how we can extract that value from our plants into our product. So the big story here is White Wonder. Please relieve us of the mystery and tell us, what is White Wonder?
White Wonder came about from a request from a client. Um, Surprisingly, or probably not surprisingly, when persons know that you produce local, handmade stuff, they come with their own requests at times for their own personal issues that they may be having. The young lady said that she used to buy a soap before from a lady which contained white head bush, and she was wondering if I could make one for her because she couldn't seem to find the lady again to have her usual stock. And when she first made the request, I was very surprised and almost taken aback because from what I knew of the whitehead bush, it was something that I would have seen my granny use to scrub the wooden floors with when I was small. And I knew it was a weed that I would, pick the little flowers off of when it was small. And then when you tasted my fingers, they'll be bitter. It was just a bush, a nuisance, something that people just threw out the garden to try to get rid of it. So for her to ask me to make a product, especially a face soap, I was that intrigued me, and that is when I went into my research to see the benefits that this plant could hold. And along with the whitehead bush, I just looked around my own garden and realized that I had a wonder of the world plant outside there, and it was just basically ornamental. We did nothing with it, but wet it every once in a while. But even researching that plant as well, and I saw the lovely benefits, I decided to marry the two, and I would have created the soap called White Wonder. White for the white head bush, and wonder from the wonder of the world plant.
Well, I find this fascinating. I use these terms because it is so special for me to hear how you have blended these two plants. You have blended what we described as the ethnobotany of the plants, the biocultural tradition, and ended up with a product tailored for your customer. For me, there's nothing better. Could you tell us how well White Wonder has been working for your customer?
The client, she was very pleased. Not only was the formulation working to, as she would say, clear up her blemishes, but the soap is formulated to be very gentle. It's nothing harsh. It's not drying. That was by design because I figured if persons are having issues, the last thing they need is a soap to dry their skin out. And but surprisingly, it was working in another way that I did not, anticipate. My daughter at the time was suffering very badly from acne, from being the hormone, the teenage years. And we were trying everything, even going as far as the dermatologist and spending a big set of money buying all these topical creams. And he came to the point that he was advising that we put her on medication. That's where I put my foot down because I figured at her tender age, the last thing she needed was, those heavy drugs on her system. I would have then started with the production of the soaps and the creams, and I would let her try the charcoal and clay that I had, and that didn't work. We went through the whole gamut of trying the different soaps, but then the white wonder that the lady had asked me to formulate for her, when my daughter used that in connection with another a toner that I produce as well, her face, Dr. Peter, I mean, it started to glow. And I was so surprised by the outcome. I was so encouraged that, even though you might have your challenges day to day in the business world, when you see a product working, there's nothing better to inspire you to just keep at it, to keep on stretching and to keep on formulating because somebody out there is waiting for this product.
Yeah, it is really indeed a heartwarming story. And you could not have expressed it any better to me. And I think that these are the stories that we need to share to demonstrate the heritage that we have on island within this whole sphere of plant knowledge. And I'm so happy that I did put you on the spot for today's issue of our new offering. Now, I know you said that your facilitator at workshops you attended would have provided you with the impetus to go out there and produce your brand of plant-based product. But I know that we all have stories deep within our families. Sometimes they only come to us as we sit and we think. And so I want to ask, how far back within your family can you trace this linkage to the value of our local plants?
Probably sadly only as far back as maybe the my granny on my mom's side. I would have grown up with her before, the family branched off. And as I would have mentioned, see her scrubbing the floor with the whitehead bush. And I would have heard about them using these oil leaves and brown paper if you have a chest cold. But as a child of the 70s, I think by then we had started to move away as a culture from all of the traditional herbs and those healing properties because we thought it probably made us look or poor or underdeveloped, and we were embracing at that time a lot more of the pharmaceuticals. So firsthand, I would have only experienced, having the flu. Mommy would bring the lime tea, or if you have the upset stomach, you would get the ginger tea, or the other say to break the air with the ginger tea. Only along that line, but mommy would have spoken growing up that she would drink the pear leaf tea and the soursop leaf tea. She would call them cooling teas, but in my mind, I couldn't understand if you've made it with hot water, how it could be cooling. So I just I just left it there. But coming up and you're hungry, as she would say, your mom is out working, they would eat all sorts of things like tamarind leaves, and she mentioned flour fence and bread and cheese, things that she would be familiar with. But as I said, being of that era and looking upon the plant-based solutions as maybe a bit poor and keeping you back in the past, we would have moved away and gone more into the pharmaceutical realm. But I can tell you, Dr. Peter, I had a bout of illness in the late 90s, and I was on 7 tablets a day. And when I was finished with that, I told myself that if I could avoid another tablet, I would do my best to do so. And I go to the doctor now to find out what is wrong. And other than that, I will come and do my research to see what plants there are, what vitamins, herbs, anything that could help me on my way to recovery.
Yes, I think I have to label you a plant warrior, Dawn, because you are really, forging ahead with that traditional knowledge, the narratives, at the heart of what you do. And I think that you are indeed out there fighting for us and demonstrating how valuable our plant knowledge and tradition really is and can be as it relates to lifestyle, taking care of ourselves, and also making a contribution to our economy. So again,
If I
I
can
thank you
interject
so
here too,
much,
if you don't
Dawn.
mind. Okay.
Yes, for sharing with us. And in looking through your Instagram, it says Dawn by Nature, the home of handmade luxury. I truly love that. So, could you end by letting our listeners know where they can find more information on Dawn by Nature and how they can purchase White Wonder and your other amazing products?
We are on social media on Instagram at Dawn by Nature, on Facebook as well at Dawn by Nature, and we have our website dawnbynature.com, where you can go over and see the range of products that we have and make your purchases directly from there. Or if perchance you need to contact me just to get an idea of what might be best for you, you can always give me a call at 255-0491, or you can use that same number for WhatsApp, or I am on email at dawnbynature@gmail.com.
Thank you so much, Dawn. I hope that our listeners really do embrace all of the information you provided today and do seek you out to at least try White Wonder and begin to explore the range that you do offer. I want to thank you again for joining me on the Herbal Spot. And I'm letting our listeners know that our second issue will look at local wines, how the entrepreneur Andrew Marshall of Meadows in the Sun Wines has been making these innovative local treats, incorporating plants like dog dumpling, breadfruit, and bay leaf. Please join us for issue 2 of Herbal Spot.